Working on your emotional intelligence could very well be the most important aspect of your personal development. Gaining its popularity from the psychologist and science journalist Daniel Goleman, emotional intelligence has graced a plenty of research papers from domains ranging from corporate America to the Little League Baseball. Researchers have found that the most effective leaders are all alike in one crucial way. They all have a high degree of emotional intelligence. Without it, a person can have the best training in the world, an incisive analytical mind, and an endless supply of smart ideas, but he still won't make a great leader. Emotional intelligence has been defined as an individual's capacity to appropriately regulate his or her emotions or feelings. It also involves the ability to identify others' feelings and emotions, to use this information to guide their response or produce a certain action. Let's run through a quick quiz to test your ability to recognize others' emotions. What emotion is she expressing? If you chose fear, you were correct. What emotion is he expressing? The correct answer is embarrassment. Now, what is this emotion she's showing on her face? It's easy to see that pain is the correct emotion. Being able to accurately identify an emotion is the first step towards understanding or relieving yourself from being controlled by it. Psychologist Chris Girls created a periodic table of all human emotions that mimics the periodic table of elements. At the top, we have the purer, lighter emotions. At the bottom, the usual radioactive sequencing has been replaced by emotions of passion and depression because of how highly unstable they are. To the left is the bodily visceral emotions, and to the right, you have your heady, more spiritual emotions. To make the emotions even more scientific, they have been given an atomic symbol and atomic weight. For example, gratitude's atomic number is 24/7. Love has been given the mathematical expression of pi as an atomic number because love makes the world go round. And denial believes it has no weight, and so none was listed. Emotional intelligence is the something in each of us that is a bit intangible. It affects how we manage behavior, navigate social complexities, and make personal decisions that achieve positive results. Emotional intelligence is made up of 4 core skills that pair up under 2 primary competencies: personal competency and social competency. Personal competency is made up of your self-awareness and self-management skills, which focuses more on the individual than on the interaction with other people. The core of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, which is comprised of 3 competencies: emotional self-awareness, where you're able to read and understand emotions; accurate self-assessment, this is where you're able to give a realistic evaluation of your strengths and limitations; and self-confidence, where you have a positive and strong sense of one's self-worth. The starting point and key in these areas is the ability to be critically self-reflective. A great self-awareness enhancement technique will be to know your values. Do you have a clear idea of where you absolutely will not compromise? Spend some time examining your code of ethics. If you know what's most important to you, then you probably won't have to think twice when you face a moral or ethical decision. You'll make the right choice. Self-management is comprised of 5 competencies: self-control, which is keeping disruptive emotions and impulses under control; transparency, where you maintain a standard of honesty and integrity; adaptability, which focuses on flexibility to changing situations and overcoming obstacles; achievement orientation, this is your drive to meet an internal standard of excellence; and initiative, which is the readiness to seize the opportunity and act. This skill can be enhanced by holding yourself accountable and making a commitment to admit to your mistakes and to face the consequences, whatever they are. You'll probably sleep better at night, and you'll quickly earn the respect of those around you. Leaders who regulate themselves effectively rarely verbally attack others, make rushed or emotional decisions, stereotype people, or compromise their values. In the next slide, the following video will depict a scenario regarding self-management.
Oi! You steady. Rob, what are you looking at?
Well, are you going to let him talk to you like that? No one speaks to you like that. Just who does he think he is? Go and get him. Make sure he never speaks to you like that again. Well, what are you waiting for? Yes. Yes. Go get him.
Come on then. Come on.
At this very moment, he has a crucial decision to make: to be or not to be, to allow his emotions of anger to engulf his behavior, to push him to either a violent altercation or either a jail cell. He is in control of the situation, and the men that are taunting him and pushing him do not have as much control over his life as he does.
What are you chicken? Chicken. Come on then. Come on. Yeah, you never learn.
A study was conducted at Bond University by the professor of management Cynthia Fisher, who found the most common negative emotions experienced in a performance setting were frustration, irritation, worry, nervousness, anger, aggravation, dislike, disappointment, and unhappiness. Remember the last time you felt frustrated? Frustration usually occurs when you feel stuck or trapped or unable to move forward in some way. The last time you were frustrated about something, the situation probably worked out just fine after a while, right? Your feelings of frustration or irritation probably didn't do much to solve the problem then, which means they're not doing anything for you right now. And so one of the best things you can do while in that emotion is stop and mentally evaluate yourself and look at the situation. Ask yourself, why do you feel frustrated? Write it down and be specific. I have experienced this emotion before while taking tests. I would think to myself as I was taking the test, I missed a certain topic that I should have studied. What helped me the most was writing down my frustrations after taking the test, which helped me to prepare myself for the next one. Worry can easily get out of control if you allow it, and this can impact not only your mental health, but also your productivity and your willingness to take risk. Emotionally intelligent people don't just understand emotions, they know what their strengths and weaknesses are. They also know who pushes their buttons and the environment that enables them to succeed. Try shifting your focus on how to improve the situation. If you fear being benched and you sit there and worry, That probably won't help you keep an active position on the team. Instead, why not brainstorm different training techniques to improve your hand-eye coordination? Out of control anger is perhaps the most destructive emotion that people experience and outwardly express. It is also the emotion that most of us don't handle very well. If you have trouble managing your temper at work, then learning to control it is one of the best things you can do if you want to keep your job. Watch for early signs of anger. Only you know the danger signs when anger is building. Keep in mind that you choose how to react to every situation. Just because your first instinct is to become angry doesn't mean it is the correct response. Daniel Goleman also provided the ventilation fallacy that states venting your angry mood has the ability to prolong the mood. A primary example is road rage. There is a number of deaths associated with people who impulsively express that emotion, and it never comes out in a positive manner. We've probably all had to work with someone we don't like, but it is important to be professional no matter what. Being respectful and treating the person with courtesy and respect shows your character and might change the behavior of the other person. If that is their personality, then you could benefit from being assertive. Firmly explain that you refuse to be treated that way and calmly leave the situation. If you have suffered a major disappointment, your energy will probably be low. You might be afraid to take another risk, and all of that may hold you back from achieving. If you're disappointed that you didn't reach a goal, that doesn't mean the goal is no longer reachable. Keep the goal, but make small changes. For example, in powerlifting, the success comes from playing the numbers game. How much can you lift? If you are set on a deadlift of 500 pounds, the small changes you make would be mastering the 315 and increasing your plyometric exercises for that added explosion during the lift. When you are feeling unhappy, that is a moment of discovery towards becoming more self-aware. Is it your teammate? Is it your position? Do you feel overwhelmed trying to balance life and sports? Once you identify the problem, start brainstorming ways to solve it or work around it. Remember, you always have the power to change your situation. Believe it or not, forcing a smile can often make you feel happy. This is one of the strange ways in which we humans are wired. Give it a try next time you're feeling unhappy. You may be surprised at how quickly your mood changes. Social competency is made up of two attributes: social awareness and relationship management. Social awareness is comprised of three competencies: empathy, which takes an active interest in others' concerns; organizational awareness, where this is your ability to build, make decisions, network, and navigate organizational politics; and service orientation, which is where you recognize and meet customers' needs. For leaders, having empathy is critical to managing a successful team or organization. Leaders with empathy have the ability to put themselves in someone else's situation. It is easy to support your own point of view, but it takes practice to be able to look at situations from other people's perspective. Once you gain an understanding of an emotion being displayed, you can then choose the appropriate response. Pay close attention to body language, yours in particular. What message are you sending? Perhaps when you listen to someone, you cross your arms, or you move your feet back and forth, or you bite your lip. Your body language tells others how you really feel about a situation and the message you're giving. A great example of these three concepts would be that you ask an assistant to work late, again, and although she agrees, you can hear the disappointment in her voice. And so you can respond by addressing her feelings and telling her how much you appreciate the extra time and effort that she's putting in to help with the work. If possible, you can figure out a way for future late nights to be less of an issue. Relationship management. The social cluster of relationship management is comprised of 7 competencies: visionary leadership, developing others, influence, listening and sending clear, convincing, and well-tuned messages, change catalyst, conflict management, building bonds, teamwork, and collaboration. Psychologists Dan Joseph of the University of Central Florida and Daniel Newman of the University of Illinois comprised a study that examined the link between emotional intelligence and job performance. In jobs that require extensive attention to emotions, higher emotional intelligence translated into better performance. When they knew how to read and regulate emotions, they were able to deal more effectively with stressful situations and provide a service with a smile. A person with high emotional intelligence is able to interpret his or her own mood as well as others, and therefore they have a chance of forming good relationships and getting social support in general. Leaders who have a good social skill are also good at managing change and resolving conflict diplomatically. They're rarely satisfied with leaving things as they are, and so they set the example with their own behavior. Leaders could benefit from learning conflict management in order to solve disputes between their team members, customers, or vendors. Learn how to praise others. As a leader, you can inspire the loyalty of your team simply by acknowledging and recognizing their achievements. Your level of emotional intelligence likely has been and will be the driver of your high performance under pressure for years to come. Reflecting on what brings you the greatest meaning in your life removes the risk of becoming tranquilized by the trivial and sedated by the small details. If we are working towards goals that are not aligned with our key values and greater purpose, we face becoming frustrated and cynical under pressure. By gaining control of your emotions, you can further predict the outcome of your future.